Okay. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone. Hopefully you can hear me and see my screen. Thank you so much for joining us as we launch the new ADRA IndiKit website. We're really excited to have you all here and to show everything. So without further ado, let's get started. And let me find my screen here. Okay. But before we do, go ahead and introduce yourself in the chat, your name, the office you're joining from, your job title. Again, this webinar will be held in English, although we have enabled automated translation captions. So if you click on Show Captions on that little icon there, you can turn it on, you can toggle it on there. And then choose your speaking language and your caption language. You might have to click the three dots, the more button, and then click on captions as well, depending on your setup. And then make sure that the speaking language is English, and then you can choose whatever the caption language is in your desired language. Okay, and then moving on. If you have any questions, please write them in the chat box. This webinar is being recorded, and a link will be sent out after the webinar. And the slide deck, the resources, it will be sent out after the webinar as well. So before I hand it over, this is just a really quick snapshot of the agenda. We'll go over the background and rationale and why you should use the IndiKit website. Using it as a flexible resource, our collaboration and commitment to quality, and then Benedicte will go over the live demonstration of the IndiKit website, and then we'll talk a little bit about future developments and next steps of this website. So without further ado, I will hand it over to Liliana.
Thank you very much, Katie. And welcome everyone also from my side. I'm very happy that you found the time to join us. I will speak now very briefly about the background and the rationale. And Katie will be helping me with the next slide. So as you all work for ADRA now for a while, I'm sure, and you have faced the similar challenges as we did. In the MIL-TLL, we identified mainly three big areas that would help us if we have the standardized indicators. Very often we're faced with the questions, why do we need standardized indicators? Why can I not just use my unique indicators for my unique project? And the answer is rather simple. Of course, one can use the indicators for their own project as they wish. But if we agree and we look at the world, we see that standardization has already happened, that international indicators are validated by different organizations, that our projects actually aim to contribute to the same things. And it would be very helpful if we can standardizedly measure those things. So the consistent measurement by using standardized indicators, we would ensure that data collection methods are uniform across all our projects. This consistency will allow us to gather reliable data, no matter where the project is being implemented. So if we implement a project in a given country and a similar project contributing to similar goals in a different country, using standardized indicators will enable us to make sure that these two projects are actually comparable, not only in the wording, but in actual impact that they bring about. This improved comparability will help us because everyone is measuring in the same way. We can directly compare the outcomes between projects. This helps us, but also our stakeholders see what is working well and what is not working well, and also understand the effectiveness in different contexts. More and more we're being asked, okay, this approach worked in this context. Give me proof, show me evidence that the similar approach will work also in your context. And we are faced with this challenge that we don't have good data to do that. So with the standardized indicators, with the way how they are defined, with the tools that are provided in them, we will overcome this hurdle and be more accountable. I think this is what's the most important for many of us, is that the standardized indicators promote transparency in our reporting. They make sure it is easier to show donors, partners, but mainly communities, exactly how our projects are performing and what impact they are having. Together, these elements will strengthen the credibility and quality of our actions. We could move to the next one. Maybe just another minute on spending what were the challenges or why we still think it's important, other than the above mentioned, is that we And I think many of us here in the room as well, not only from the MIL-TLL, see that reaching the level of consistency hasn't been easy. In the past, our teams faced several challenges when selecting indicator. First is the inconsistency. Different offices often use different indicators for similar outcomes, making it hard to compare results across the projects. The data quality was the second biggest challenge. Without consistent guidance, some indicators were measured in varying ways, which reduced the confidence in our monitoring results. Without the clear definition, we collect data based on every office understanding of the indicator and the process how to collect its data. So this data quality question has been emerging more and more. And finally, the alignment difficulties. Teams sometimes struggle to ensure indicators meet both ADRA internal standards and donor requirements. I think we've all sat on those chairs where we know what our donors wishes to do and when we know what the community wants us to do, and to find the right balance in a verifiable, objective way is very difficult. So these challenges for us in the MIL-TLL highlighted the need for a centralized, clear, and practical tool, one that could guide indicator selection while still allowing flexibility to different contexts. As we go on today, we will show you also how the tool looks, and we want to assure you that it's a flexible, open tool that is based on verified indicators. So once you choose from there, it will work in your context, whether you're based here or you're based in somewhere in the global south. So objectives behind launching this indicator. So for us, the objective is very easy and clear. We wanted to provide a centralized, user-friendly resource that supports flexible indicator selection tailored to us. Our goal was to create a centralized resource that consolidates a wide range of indicators. At the moment, our ADRA IndiKit is full of indicators that are globally verified, but also tailored for us, with clear guidance, with clear tools that will enable you to create a log frame or theory of change for your project. And it's a user-friendly, smooth navigation and clear instruction. At the same time, we understand that maybe we as MIL experts see it a bit biased, and what is clear and defined for us might not be so clear for you. But I would like to ask for your patience, and we will show you and have a conversation after we show you how do you see it. We will be very happy for your first feedback. Mostly for us, what's important is that it's flexible. It will allow every office to choose their own indicators, fit their projects, because we have projects that are huge and we have projects that are small, and we cannot expect that we will have the same solution for everyone. So it is maintaining ADRA-wide consistency through standardized definitions and guidance that can fit every project that we implement. If we could go to the next, Kerry, please. Maybe just for your background, I don't know how many of you know where IndiKit comes from or how did we come around with it, but just to give a brief background to this. So IndiKit comes from, or it was originally developed by People in Need, which is a Czech non-governmental organization, and it created a practical online library of indicators for humanitarian and development professionals. It has been around for a decade now, went through several upgrades. Our MIL Technical Learning Lab partnered with People in Need to develop a customized ADRA-branded version. So it's designed specifically for our network's needs. It is a cost-effective and scalable solution to the challenges we just discussed. And now I'll move on to our biggest question: why shall we start using this, this website? So you might be wondering, right? How is it different from the standard IndiKit platform? Why did we make this step? Well, this is where it gets really exciting, at least for those of us presenting here today. The ADRA IndiKit website has been fully customized and tailored for our network. Unlike the public IndiKit site, which serves as a broad range of organizations, our version is specific for us to reflect ADRA's programs, our indicators, and our way of working. We have the full administrative control of the IndiKit for ADRA. That means we can manage the website independently. We decide which sectors indicators are shown, we can update content as needed, and we can ensure that everything remains relevant to our work. It is on our hands. It also means we can exclude indicators that do not apply to our operations, but also we include those that are most relevant. In short, this version has been designed by ADRA and for ADRA, and we are hoping that it's a powerful step toward improving how we design projects, but also how we monitor them. What would be the key benefits for all of us here is the streamlined indicator selection. It would save time and reduce confusion during proposal and project design. At the very first step, I think we should think of IndiKit as something that comes when you start writing your proposals. When you think of business development, it should be the website that is open to the programs team or to the meal team. It's not a meal resource only. Also program people, people in business development, those who design projects will benefit from it because it provides a clear definition of what is possible. It enhances our design quality. We can say that the indicators reflect donor expectations and our global standards. And finally, it simplifies reporting, ensuring consistency and accuracy when we communicate our impact to donors, but also stakeholders. The design, maybe the next one, if possible, Kelly. The website's design makes monitoring and evaluation work more consistent and effective. It's intuitive with filters that help users quickly find what they need. Each indicator includes detailed definition and step-by-step guidance, helping users collect and analyze data accurately. So, as Benedicte will show us later on, it's quite straightforward. It's in ADRA's design colors, as you can see. It's very pretty, it's very sector divided, it's divided by levels. So it is rather user-friendly and simple to learn or navigate through. And then maybe the last one. Then I will hand over to Jose already. We think of IndiKit as a flexible resource, and with this, I would give it over to you, Jose.
Yeah, thank you, Julia. Yes, from like our perspective, this resource allows us to just really engage as a network rather than as silos. And by working together, that means that we're able to adjust accordingly as things change. And we've seen in the last couple of years with USAID and other crises that happened, we've had to change the way we work. And that means that in IndiKit, like Liliana mentioned, we have a lot of say on what goes in this website. And we're not doing this unilaterally. Before we got to this point, we had a lot of consultations with partners. We tried to listen to as many people as possible to make this as inclusive as we can. So right now, we have a set of indicators. We have certain things in place, but the more that we use it, the more that you use it, the more that we exchange ideas, the easier it's going to be for us to perfect it. And again, it will never be perfect, but we will always make sure that we continue to grow and improve it as we go on. Also, one of the things that I like about this resource is that it goes where we need it to go. So whatever type of indicator, what type of sector that we're working in, it gives you the power to choose and to select the things that you're working with. So I think it's one of the things that we need to look in the future is how to have a constant feedback mechanism where we can hear from you and see how this is working. But at the end of the day, this is something that is very important to us. We like we said, it's not mandatory to use this. Obviously, we all have different donors that have different demands from us. But if we're all using IndiKit, if we're all using the same indicators for certain sectors, that means that the data that we're collecting is going to be standardized. And as we standardize the things that we're doing, that means that we can track better how we're doing and also compare data and see if the data is good and if we're measuring the same things in the same way. Also, at the end of the day, this is about you. Can you use it to the best of your skills? Can you use it to what you're doing? And that's what IndiKit does. It lets you be in control. So, and again, once we continue to improve the feedback mechanisms, if something's not working for you or something's working really well, then we will work with you to make it better or continue doing what we do well. Next. So when we look at, so right now, if you look at the IndiKit's bigger website, there's thousands of indicators there. There's many things that you can look at, but right now we try to be as, I wouldn't say limited, but we try to start small before we build big. So there's many things that we can include at any time. So, but same goes for you. You know, as we grow, as we work, you can say, look, Jose, we're working in this sector, in this region, and this is our needs. We're looking for this type of indicators. Then we can say, okay, let's look at what's available and if we can include those in what we're doing. But then we also have to balance it, right? We need to make sure that we're just not including everything because then it gets a bit lost. We need to be very specific on the things that we're doing. And if we want to improve our monitoring effectiveness, I don't know about you guys, but in the projects that I work, a lot of the times you end up having indicators that are, you know, you use for the project life and then you never use again, and then you have nothing to compare that to. Or you're using an indicator and you're not very familiar with the indicator, so you collect it in the wrong way. So using this tool allows us to improve the way that we collect and making sure that, look, our monitoring evaluation, the little funding that we get from EO is used effectively. Next. So yes, Benedict is going to do the showcase later. She'll show you how um, the system helps you choose what's best for you, what you need to cut, what you need to measure, how and the type of work that you're doing. So the more that you get used to using this tool, the better it's going to be for you to feel confident about using it because it does give you that ability to choose and guide you to what's best. And is the definitions that it has very detailed. Everything is in one place so you can see exactly what you're doing. Sometimes you get indicators and they don't have enough description. So in my personal opinion, I love when as much detail is given so that I can see what's the best way to capture and when to capture these indicators. Next. Yes. So if we go to the next slide. So like I said, we had consulted a lot of the partners, but one of the things that we want to do in more depth is work with all the TLLs that are sector specific and even the cross-cutting ones, because as you will see, we have sector specific and cross-cutting indicators. But the more that we work together, we listen to the livelihood, to the resilience, to the health TLLs, we will be able to, get a better indication of what's needed. We want to make it as participatory as we can, whereas everybody's voice is heard, and we make sure that we include the right indicators that are suitable for the ADRA network and leave out the ones that really don't work for us. Of course, there are other knowledge bases outside of the TLLs, but we will try to make sure to capture as all. We also have limited resources, limited time, but we'll try to make it as inclusive as possible. Next. So yes, there is a contact link there in the website, so where you can share your feedback. But also, I think we have third degree of connection, so maybe that the feedback on the contact link is not as quick. You can reach out to one of us for more direct consultation if you want and to share what your thoughts, or whenever we meet in one of the ADRA events. But the more that we hear from you, the better this is going to be. And the more you use it, the better you know what you need and what needs to be asked. So again, just use the tool. It's very friendly. Benedict is going to show you. But the more that we use it, the better the tool gets itself. So this is just the first step. We're going to have a little brief period of adjustment, but I think in the coming year it's going to be very exciting to see the results that we get from using this tool. So yeah, now this is the fun part. That I think this is why you all came here to see is Benedict showing the tool. So if you have any questions from what Liliana and I have said, please pop them into the chat and we'll try to get to them as we can. Thank you. Benedicta, over to you.
Yes, thank you, Jose, and thank you, Liliana. Happy to be the one who has the most fun part. So unfortunately, it's very quickly done because it's, as have been mentioned several times, it's super intuitive. So there's really not much to show. This is the interface you will see when you enter the site. The main page shows you all the sectoral indicators that are, or the different sectors that provide indicators. And as you see, most of the sectors that we work within are represented here. And then you can just click on one of them to see the indicators that exist for that particular sector. You can also choose up here to the cross-cutting indicators. We have, several concerns that need to be cross-cutting in most of our projects. So it's always a struggle how to maintain focus on the cross-cutting issues. But here are specific then suggestions for indicators you can use to ensure that you have mainstreamed these concerns. If I should start somewhere else with this top, this header up here, there is an About button, and this is where you can read about how the IndiKit came about. You can read more about the IndiKit. There are some frequently asked questions that, yeah, it's a good place to start if you have questions. If you have questions or concerns that are not mentioned here, you can go to the Contact tab that Jose also mentioned. It's very simple formula, but it goes to a mail, an ADRA mail email address, so it will reach us, and someone will be responsible for directing the concerns to the right, or questions or comments to the right person. There's also a tab here called Resources, and I would say if there are indicators that you're searching for that you don't find in the IndiKit, it's possible that you'll find them somewhere in these libraries, either here in the resources or here in the links. So you have really a richness of documents that you can visit if you need more information or have time to go in depth with reviewing all these. So if you don't have time, which we often don't, then you simply go to the IndiKit and find the indicators you need. So to give an example, if we take the agriculture and natural resource management, you press on this and you'll see this structure, which is similar for all of these, both the sectors and the cross-cutting indicators. It starts asking what you need to measure, and here are then some of the thematics under this, in this case, agriculture and natural resource management, that you may want to look into. Increased crop and animal production, improved access to agricultural inputs, improved landscape management. So you can filter here, and then the list down here will show only the ones that are relevant for that particular sub-theme. If you don't select any of these boxes, then you will see all the indicators on this long list. And we see in some cases there are more indicators. I'm not sure there are thousands of indicators in here, but there certainly are many. So go to the ones that suit you best. Indicator level, here you can filter also these different levels of your intervention. Do you need output indicators, outcome indicators, or impact indicators? So you can also filter by those, and in this case it will reduce the number significantly, because these are then the ones that can be used for impact level. Let's see. to take a different example, good governance. Here you see the structure is the same, what you need to measure. What if we take this one? It will show then these different indicators. And if we want an example of how an indicator may look like, inclusive participatory budgeting, that's a difficult one. Here you have indicator level, it's an outcome indicator. It says the wording of the indicator, this structures all of the indicators. The purpose of the indicator and how to collect and analyze the required data. And then who has prepared this indicator description. So here you can see here's a different access also. If you want to propose improvements to this particular indicator, you can also do that through this tab. If you want to, if this wasn't really what you wanted from good governance, you can go one step back up here, good governance, and see, well, really, I would like what? Inclusive participatory budgeting is very similar, or either of the others. Local authority responsiveness. So you see it's the same structure. I wanted to show one because some of them have additional information down here. Let me see if we can find one of this, for instance. Access to additional guidance. Here you can find the poverty probability index, a link to this. I will not press it because it will open in an Excel file or a Word document or a PDF. So it will open in a different window. I can't show it here, but you can play around once you get access. It's not dangerous. You can't delete anything by accident. So just feel free. An example from the cross-cutting indicators. One of the upcoming and difficult ones is the environmental mainstreaming. You also have some different examples that, yeah. Give you also additional guidance down here. And this, because this one can be disaggregated, it has also this tab, disaggregate, yeah, and you can press here how to disaggregate in different categories. Right, so as I say, just play around once you have, once you get access and take some time to get familiar with it. Yeah, what else can I say? I came across this one, usage of community feedback and response mechanisms. That's also now in ADRA Denmark. We've just been through the second CHS certification, so it's something that we have to have a really strong focus on. So it's super that then I will get inspiration from here also, how to measure whether we are actually using community feedback response mechanisms and whether communities are actually knowing and knowledgeable about their existence. So that's just a different, that one comes under cross-cutting indicators. If you want to go back to the main page, just press the logo and you'll end up where you started. I think I will leave that as the tour for now. I don't know, is it you, Carrie, who will continue from here?
Yes, I will take over. And thank you so much,
Over to you.
Benedicte. Yes, thank you so much for showing us that. And let me go ahead and share my screen. There we go. So what is next? Where do we go? Where do we go from here? So we are in the process of adding indicators that ADRA uses. So for instance, there will be some select echo indicators and also other indicators suggested by ADRA technical experts. They'll be added on a case-by-case basis, depending on whether or not we see fit to that our projects use them quite often or they need more guidance, things like that. So we are going to try as much as possible to add those from major donors. For instance, ADRA International will be adding some BHA indicators that we've been using quite a bit as well. So you'll be able to see those pretty soon in the website. And as Jose mentioned, we are in collaboration, or we will be collaborating with the TLLs, with different task force initiatives, and different groups in ADRA and the ADRA network so that we can meet the entire network's needs as best as possible. And also, we would love to have your feedback once you start using this so that we can make sure that you guys are using it, that it's, fitting your needs, because this is for you all. This is for ADRA. So just as a quick mention, this is where we're at now. This is the website launch. I don't know, some of you may have tried to get onto the website just now as Benedicte was showing it, but may have been met with asking for a username and password. In the next few days, we will be taking that off of the website so that you can use it. So you will not need to have a username and password to get in there. So look out for that link in the post-webinar email so that you can access it. So are there any questions? I know this is a very new resource and it's a lot to take in. So if you guys have any questions, go ahead and ask them in the chat. I will say one thing, I don't know, in some of the indicators, you can filter it by donor level as well. So you'll be able to filter it by, ECHO or USAID or BHA. And I think there's a couple of other donors that we have in there as well. So you will be able to filter by that. Let's see. Yeah, Liliana, do you want to go ahead and answer that question?
Yeah, thank you, Minu. Yes, they include internally designed indicators by ADRA, a selection of other donors. So these are verified indicators that have been around the world for quite some time. In many of them, we even have the tools. You saw, I think, from Benedicte's example, we shared one where there is also the survey question. In other, there are already also links to Excel that could be put to Kobo. So it's a combination, that's correct. We pre-selected some of them and we tried to keep a balance per sector. That's why we also ask for your feedback so that we know if it's too much, too little. As you saw, probably many of you noticed that we didn't include any indicators on the lower levels. We don't have any activities because this is where the uniqueness of each project comes in. But I think we can summarize that on the higher levels, we all contribute to the similar things. Play around with it. It's very similar to the setup of the global IndiKit, but it is as well adjusted and tailored for us. I personally think it's also a good tool towards the donors to say and show that we have our own ADRA IndiKit, our own standardized indicators as a network to use also for advocating there. I think there was another question. Will these indicators be added to Logalto? If so, when? So as we mentioned, we are in close collaboration within the network. There is a possibility of collaborating further on Logalto, but there is no clear time frame. So I'm sorry, I cannot say more to that at now, but we are definitely, it's an option that we're considering on how to make it user-friendly. But at the first place, we would also like to see how this works. It's a simultaneous project development, I would say. Like we need to think of it. Logalto is mainly a project management tool, whereas this is more of a project design tool. And there are definitely synergies that we will further hopefully develop, but I don't have a time frame at this moment. I'm sorry. Thank you, Menu. We're very happy. Actually, it's been a long process for us in the MIL-TLL, I think, and maybe you can see it on our faces because we've invested quite a lot of time trying to get this done. But we really think it's a good progress for us as a network, and we would really urge you to spread the word, to use it. We'll keep bombarding you with the link and emails and mentioning it everywhere we go. But we also rely on your help in trying to make this work, so we move away from individual indicators without definitions to some standards.
Thank you so much, Liliana, and thank you so much for all those questions. We hope that you guys will are excited to use this, and we also ask that you spread the word to your coworkers, to your staff, to the other offices, whenever you see or meet with them. So we really appreciate you being here and being excited about it with us. As Liliana said, we're very excited about it. And it has been a long time coming for this. So if there's any more questions, go ahead and put them in. If not, I will continue. We just have a few more slides of just MIL-TLL things. We do have a question. Thank you. Yeah, what languages will it be available in currently? It's only in English right now. We have looked at hosting a language. I think it's like a third-party app or something like that. I know IndiKit, the regular IndiKit, they have like a ability to do that. But we currently do not. Yeah, Liliana, go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. So at the moment we have it only in English. We have made considerations for language variations, but due to our situation regarding the budget, we didn't really move ahead with that. It's possible. What you would find in our ADRA IndiKit, and if you need the exact translation, it's possible also, of course, to get it from the global IndiKit. Technically, that's just a translation. It's not a real translation of the indicator. It's just a website translation. So I think with time going and whole AI world developing further, I think at some point this will be mute. But for now, we have it only in English and rely on your skills to put it to a different translator or put it to IndiKit and see if the comparison is different. But there is at the moment only English.
Just adding to that, yes, the indicators are and the description in the website are only English, but then there is under the resource tabs that I showed, there's a list of resource documents that exist in several languages. So there is a link to, I think it's, well, English, French, Portuguese, and Spanish, those 4 languages. That's all. So there's something.
Yes, thank you so much, Benedicte, for including that. Rachel, yes, absolutely. We will be reaching out to the Resilience TLL and the Climate Action Task Force. I appreciate that. Yeah, we want to be in close collaboration with all of the TLLs and the task force. So I'm very excited that you are also excited for this. So we'll be in contact with you. Zavai, yes. Okay, great. Liliana, do you want to touch on that really quick since you've been in contact with Pia?
Yes, of course. So this is we've had a conversation with Pia very briefly, and we haven't had a next conversation is coming up, so we don't have a clear feedback on this at this point. But there are definitely technical solutions that enable it. We just need to continue talking about it and make decisions at some point. But at the moment, we are in a preliminary conversations. But it's nothing that we forgot or we did have in our mind and we did talk about. It's just the launch is now. And I think in November or so, we will be able to continue this conversation.
Great, thank you. Any other questions before we move on? Okay. As I mentioned, you will receive a link to the website and the slides and any resources that we might have. So be looking out for that email. I believe I'm sharing my screen. Is that correct? Yes. Okay. Cool. We'll continue on. So we just wanted to quickly highlight a blog post that we collaborated with the Emergency Management Unit here at ADRA International. And so you can check that out. I will post the links. Let me see if I can grab that off of my, let's see. So if you want to check that out, I'll post it right here. So we have a new resource, the PDM manual. So go ahead and check that out. There's a lot of resources there, lots of templates, questionnaire templates for various use cases. So please use that. It's like basically like a toolkit and a guide. It's really great. And then we also have another toolkit for the evaluation terms of reference toolkit that we've been working on to help you guide and support your evaluations, especially if you're working with an external evaluator. So you can go ahead and check that out. I will post the link if I can grab that. And then go ahead and visit our meal blog. We have quite a number of blogs there. Jose is our, what I like to call our blog master. He's written a number of blogs there you can go check out. And it also highlights some of our other resources that we have at the Meal TLL. If you're not already part of the community of practice on HumHub, please go ahead and join that. And if you're not subscribed to our newsletter, which is where we post all of our upcoming updates, our upcoming webinars, new resources, things like that. And then last but not least, we, as some of you know, we always host in-person training every year. And we want you to help us guide what our next topic is going to be. So we ask that you take this survey. It is supposed to close this Friday, but we may open the deadline just to next week. But if you can take this as soon as possible, we'd love to have your feedback on what topics we should be talking about or training on next year. So let's take a moment for you all to get to that survey. And then thank you so much, everyone, for joining us, for showing up for this launch of the new website. We're really excited about it. We hope it's going to be useful for you all. And please let us know your feedback as you use it, as you go through it. Tell your coworkers, your staff, but your office, everything. We want to get the word out. And those of you who work in other TLLs or task force, we will be in contact with you so that you can help us inform the different indicators that we add to this. So thank you, everyone from the Meal TLL. We're so happy that you're here, and we hope that you enjoy using this new resource that we have for you. So hope you all have a good rest of your day or evening, wherever you are. Thank you so much, and we'll end there.
Thank you from Mogadishu.
Thank you.